Hi everybody, this is Juliana Angel, your Dark Mask Diva. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the misconception people tend to have about the way that attractive people act and the way unattractive people act. Now, it's popularized in movies, TV, and that sort of thing about, these mean girls and these popular guys and that kind of thing, and the less attractive person is kind of the underdog, the hero, and that kind of thing, and the attractive people are, mean and that kind of thing, right? So it just seems like the attractive people are always the jerks, the assholes, the snobby bitches, and stuff like that, and the less attractive people are always smarter and clever and better people. They have better morals, and they're nerds and all kinds of stuff like that, and they always win in the end and everything. And the less attractive people are just better people in general and that sort of thing. So they are always the classic underdog, and the attractive people are shallow and they're always doing mean things, and they're just dumb and that kind of thing. Okay, so I think a lot of the reasons why those movies are popular is because there are more less attractive people, there are more average people, there are more people that just have felt bad because they've seen people, be treated better because those people had pretty privilege, okay? And maybe they truly got picked on, okay, by somebody from the quote-unquote popular crowd. Or they got aced out of a job because a more attractive person with fewer qualifications or no qualifications got the job because that person was better looking. Okay, realistically, that really does happen. Okay, and yeah, that is unfair. But we do live in a shallow society. Alright, but all of that said, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I know you don't want to hear it. But in the real world, it is not the better looking people who are the mean people, okay? It is the people who are less attractive who are the meaner people. Alright, now when we're talking about high school and middle school and stuff like that, okay, it is the cuter people who are meaner. But we're talking about kids, okay? We're talking about kids, and kids are mean, and kids are cruel, and it is a child's nature to tease anybody who's different, okay, and who isn't pretty looking, okay, and who isn't, who doesn't fit the societal standards of normal or pretty or something like that, because that is just a child's nature to do that, okay? But we're talking about adults here. Alright, and when people are grown-ups, alright, it is really, people have become jaded, alright, as adults. So the thing about that is, it's really the adults who are good-looking who are actually the nicer ones, okay, who have grown up gracious because they're used to being treated better, okay. Good-looking people generally don't have an axe to grind. Alright, because they are treated better by everybody. Okay, good-looking people there is a downside to being good-looking, but generally good-looking people, they have the thing called pretty privilege. Okay, so things do tend to go their way. They don't have an axe to grind with people. Alright, they don't have any real resentments, except being treated poorly by less attractive people, okay, except being the object of envy, being treated poorly by these bad-looking people. I'm going to talk about, what the bad-looking people do to them, though, okay, and this is what happens, the good-looking people react negatively, alright? This is what will happen. You never see a hot person staring at anybody. Okay, because a hot person doesn't have any reason to stare at anybody, for one thing. All right. But what happens is a less attractive person feels wronged. Okay. So what they do is they feel like they've had to work harder for everything. And I've spoken about this in another video, but I feel like I need to go into it in more detail. A less attractive person feels the need to stare, to get somebody's attention. They feel like it's okay to make somebody else uncomfortable. All right. So they feel like that it's okay for them to stare at somebody because that other person's attractive. So they think it's okay to stare. They think their bad manners are okay. They think it's okay to let somebody else feel uncomfortable. So they will stare at them for a prolonged period of time until that attractive person feels extremely uncomfortable. They feel like it's okay to be creepy. Okay? And then they act wronged when the good-looking person doesn't like it. Okay, here's the thing. If somebody stares at you for a prolonged period of time, they're being a predator and you're the prey. So, of course, somebody is not going to like it. If you like somebody, you should go up and approach them and say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and speak to them. Okay? Let them know why you're staring at them. Because if you're staring at somebody, that is a predatory in nature type thing to do. Because you don't know, even if you're a good-looking person and you know that people stare at good-looking people, you still are not completely sure why you're being stared at. You're like, what? Why am I being stared at? They could be staring at you because you look like someone that they know, or, you know, they could be trying to kill you. I mean, you never know why you're being stared at. You know, they could be trying to harm you. They could be trying to do anything to you. You never know why you're being stared at. You don't know if that person's a sociopath. So the good-looking person will not like being stared at, even though you're staring at them just because they're good-looking. Okay? And I'm sorry, if you are not attractive and you're staring at somebody, they're not going to appreciate it. Okay? But the thing is, you never see a good-looking person ever staring at anybody. I want you to stop and think about that for a moment. Good-looking people never stare at anybody. That's a trait you don't find in good-looking people. They never stare at anybody. I want you to think about that for a moment. You never see a good-looking person ever stare at anybody. That is a thing only unattractive people do. Okay, and they feel entitled to do it. Okay. Good-looking people are usually staring at themselves in the mirror. Okay, because they are so groomed to focus on their looks, because everybody makes a big deal out of their looks, that they're like, okay, am I good? You know, because everybody makes a big deal out of their looks. Because if they're not always smiling, or if they have a hair out of place, everyone's like, your hair's messed up, dude. And they make a big deal out of it. Okay? If a pretty woman is not smiling, everyone goes, why aren't you smiling? Or why aren't you wearing makeup today? Or they just make a big deal out of it. Okay? If you are an attractive person and you don't look your best, everybody comes up and checks you about it and makes a big deal, because your identity revolves around how attractive you are when you're an attractive person. And everybody comes up and tells you about it constantly. Okay, so it's kind of becomes your job to always be like, okay, I'm good, right? Like, you know, it's kind of like you have to keep up appearances. So attractive people are always looking in the mirror. If they're staring at anybody, it's just themselves. Okay, they're never staring at somebody else. They have to worry about the way they look. Okay, because everybody just makes too big of a deal out of it. It's really a pain in the A. All right, so that's the thing. Now, unattractive people feel entitled to get attention from attractive people. All right. The odds are, unless there's something terribly clever about you, or you have a lot of animal magnetism, you can be physically unattractive, but if there's something magnetic about your personality, unless there isn't, that attractive person, you need to have a really cool personality. You need to be really smart, or have a cool personality, or have something really amazing that you can provide. You have to have something that's a really big deal going on, or else the attractive person, what's in it for them? They're attractive. Okay, you have to have something really special going on. You have to have some special talent. You have to have something special going on, because attractive people are special. Okay, and I'm really sorry to put it that way, but they are. So you can't just be ordinary and ugly and think that they owe you their attention. Okay, because you're just annoying them, basically. Okay, there needs to be something really to you. Are you really smart? What can you give them? What can you bring to them that they don't already have? You really need to bring something, okay? And I've seen a lot of really attractive people be attracted to physically unattractive people, but those unattractive people really brought something special to the relationship. Okay, so I mean, I see it all the time, where these pairings of two people that, there's one attractive person and one not so attractive person, but the unattractive person had a really killer personality, or they were super smart, or they were resourceful, or there was just something really awesome about them. But just don't be ordinary and be a loser and think that you're going to get an attractive person, because no. Okay, don't feel like because you're unattractive, you're automatically the underdog. Okay, don't think that all of a sudden that you're just like, there's something special about you because you're ugly, and that you're going to win in the end, and that all these attractive people are against you. They're not. Okay, they're attractive. They're not trying to be mean to you. They're just living their lives, okay? They're people who've gone through their whole lives with everybody making a big deal about their looks, thinking that's all they have to offer, and assuming they're mean people, when they're not. They just won the genetic lottery, okay? They're people like you are. They have feelings like you do. They're just people, okay? This is what ugly people do, okay? They leave rude comments under people's videos for no reason. Because, I don't know, maybe they said something they didn't like. Maybe they said something that struck a nerve. I'm going to tell you something right now. I feed off my haters, so if you want to see something rude under my video, I'm going to delete it, but trust me, it's not going to bother me. Like I say in my other videos, I feed off my haters. I feed off whatever. I feed off encouragement, and I feed off my haters. It's not going to bother me. I'm a vampire. I will feed off anything. Not literally a vampire, but you know what I mean. Because I've gone through my life with nobody encouraging me. I've gone through my life where a bunch of people are encouraging me. We go through seasons in our lives where you don't get encouragement from anybody. And then we go through our seasons where everybody wants to be your friend. I mean, life is like that. Okay, so if you want to leave a hateful comment, I'm going to delete it, but it's not going to bother me. Okay, it just tells me that you're a loser. So, whatever, okay? But trust me, I know you're ugly. That is one thing I know for sure, because beautiful people do not leave hateful comments. That is one thing I do know about you. You're unattractive. So that's something that good-looking people don't do. They don't leave hateful comments under people's videos. So, as again, that's a dead giveaway, bruh. Okay. Ugly people. This is another thing they do. They try to go after people who are taken. All right. They won't go ask somebody out who's in their league. They know somebody's taken, and they want to go ask out the taken person. Now, this can be somebody who's average looking, but they're disrespectful about it. I've had a lot of people say to me, hey, if it doesn't work out with the guy that you're with, will you give me a shot? I've had a few people do that, and they were respectful about it. They're like, if it doesn't work out with him, will you go out with me? But I've had people just straight up come on to me, and I'm like showing them my ring going, you know, hey, I'm taken, hello, well, you know, he doesn't have to know, and blah, 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 and all this stuff, and be like right up in my grill about it. And I'm just kind of like, you know, you asshole, like, get out of my face, and that kind of thing. Okay, those aren't attractive people that do things like that. Those are desperate people. Those are thirsty people. Those are people that don't have anything to lose. Okay, now attractive people don't have to do things like that. Those are people that just, those are obvious losers. Okay, the people that were respectful about it, those were attractive people. Okay, but unattractive people will go after people who are taken. Unattractive people specifically go after people who are taken. You know why? Because they have low self-esteem and they have something to prove to themselves. And unattractive people, you ready for this? Will cheat. The attractive people don't tend to. I know that comes as a big surprise. If you want someone who's going to be faithful, pick an attractive person. Unattractive people have lower self-esteem. Attractive people, there's no like challenge. Attractive people, higher self-esteem, do not need the validation. So the odds are, and you can look them up, your unattractive female partner is more likely to cheat on you than your attractive female partner. So if you want a woman who probably will not cheat on you, get an attractive female partner. I know that just blew your mind. All you guys who are paranoid because your girlfriend or your fiance and wife is attractive, guess what? It's you guys that have the ugly female. I know, mind blower, right? I just blew your mind with that one. Yeah, I know, all of you who think that the beautiful woman is the bad guy. I blew your mind with that one. So, beautiful people are not the bad guy, you guys. That's all I have to say about that. That was the grand finale. But I hope this was informative, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. And please stop casting attractive people as the bad person. It's more likely an unattractive person. And there's nothing wrong with making the most of what you look like. It is really who you are as a person, though, no matter what you look like. And I sincerely mean that. And leave a comment down below. Hopefully something nice. I'd appreciate that the most. And you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.